Hey there everybody, Robert Taylor with Wanderscape Creations. In this video we are going to get Ninja Gas and Ninja Combat all set up. We won't go too deep into Gas until we get the whole guide set up, the whole guide done I should say, because there's a lot to Gas. It's very complicated, and I don't want to try to teach those who don't know Gas while I'm trying to teach everyone about the Ninja plugins. So Ninja plugin stuff first, learn more about Gas after, mixed with Ninja stuff, if that makes any sense. So, like I said, we need to get 2 more plugins turned on, and I obviously already have them here turned on, Combat and Gas. When you turn one or both of these on, I believe it's only Ninja Gas, but it could be this one as well. If you type gameplay, oh no, let's go to all plugins. We have gameplay abilities already turned on here. Let's just do, yeah, everything gameplay related here. We have gameplay state tree turned on, tags editor turned on. I'm not sure why that's turned on, but yeah, it turns on everything we need. Targeting system, which is gameplay stuff. When you turn those on, it turns on all the other plugins that are needed. So once you've turned those on and restarted your engine, we now need to do a few important things to ensure that it is all set up correctly. So the first thing we are going to do is talk about the asset manager because we don't currently have the asset that is Ninja Gas data asset created yet. Well, the C++ version is created, but we don't have a blueprint version created yet, nor do we have the file structure we need, which we will do in a second. Asset manager. You guys, for those that don't know, it's settings for the asset manager framework, which can be used to discover, load, and audit game-specific asset types. So this just speeds up the process of finding assets and things like that, loading and all that jazz. So we are going to be adding a new primary asset types to scan. It automatically starts with 2 of them, but the system kept telling me I needed to add this one, so I did. It automatically starts with primary asset label and map world. Cool. So your project may not need these 2 or 3 in time. You'll delete them as time permits and when it's ready, when you're ready to do so. So for us, we need to first set up the file structure. And what I'm going to do is, it's easier to just do it right here because it's in front of everything. I'm going to type in a new folder, and we are going to call this, just say gas. And everything gas related will go in here. We'll open it up, and then I'm going to right click again, new folder, and I'm going to call this data. And I'm going to open it up. Now right in here is where I'm going to be putting the Ninja Gas data asset when we make it. So before we do that, now that we know where it's going to be, we can come here to the primary asset types to scan, hit the plus sign, open it up, and we are going to name it Ability Bundle Data. And then we're going to search for Ninja Gas Data Asset. And then under directories, we're going to hit the plus sign. You may hit a freeze here, and how long the freeze is dependent on whether you have source control on or not. But just patiently wait, and then this will pop up, and you'll never have another freeze no matter how many you add in the future. Then we're going to hit the 3 dots, and we know that it's going to be in gas and data. There we go. The next thing that we need to do is a little bit on the complicated side because it's not something that most people will do, and that's quite all right. We need to configure and set up the ability system stuff. So the first thing we need to do, and this is the easiest way for me to find things, is I'm going to right click on this data folder and go to show and explorer to bring up my explorer file thingy. My brain's not working at the moment. I can't remember exactly what it's called. Anyways, you're going to go straight to the head of the file of the folder structure, so you know where your U project is. And then we need to open up the config folder. And once we do that, we need to open up the DefaultGame.ini. Now, I have this copied and pasted for you in the description below. And I also have a link to this setup in the description below as well. So copy and paste these 3 lines right in here. GameplayAbilities.AbilitySystemGlobals, and you'll set up the QManager class and the global class name. That way the system knows to look for it. We're going to hit File and Save. Now, naturally, right now, this stuff isn't going to work. We're going to have to restart our project, but we'll do that at the end once we have the last few things taken care of. The next thing we need to do is set up the collision channels. Now, you can do this in these folders if you wish, or these files if you wish, but I am going to just do them directly in the project settings because you can. So if we go to project settings and then collision, we need to set up 2 trace channels. Now then, 1 second here. I need to go to my project right here because there are only 2, but I get them mixed up which one's supposed to be which as far as the default responses. So first thing, we're going to name this one weapon, and this one we want to set to ignore. Hit accept, and then we will start a new trace channel, and this one will be called projectile, and this one will stay at block. We'll hit accept, and we are good to go there. All right, now once we have that done, we need to go back into the project settings, and we need to look for Ninja Combat. And in Ninja Combat, we are looking for the melee combat and ranged combat sections. First thing we're going to do in melee combat, we're going to look for that weapon, set it. And then again for the ranged, we're going to look for projectile and set it. Now, the next thing that we want to do at this point is go ahead and restart it, because as I said, the things that we changed in the .inis will not have taken effect until we restart the project. So I will be back once my project has restarted. All right, now then, once we have done that, we need to put up a couple of components. And we are going to be adding them to the player character. Let's go ahead and yes, so they come back up. I'm not sure if I still need any of these. The player controller, I do. I can close up these other ones for now. So our player character, we need to add a couple of things. First thing we want to add is a function, not a function, a interface. So if we come over here to class settings, and it's important to note for those that want it, there is a Ninja. Let's come here and do character. Ninja Gas character. There is a Ninja Gas character. Likewise, that's for AI and whatnot. There's Ninja Gas player character. Don't do this now because it's going to remove the camera and the boom, which you can reset if you really want to. But I'm letting you know that that's there, because if you're utilizing that, which I do in my projects, then this interface is already a part of what we're doing. We come here and we look for Combat System Interface. And we want to add that, and that gives us quite a few functions that we will need, may or may not need, depending on our project. So, first things first, now that we have that, we need to come here to the Add Ninja Combat Weapon Manager, right? And it is also important to note that if you also have inventory, once we get to inventory, there's an additional step that we need to do, because Fab broke a process that can no longer be utilized by the Ninja plugins. And we'll get deeper into that once we get to that part. But for now, like I said, we're trying to get the basis of this done so that we can get to inventory as quickly as possible, so that everybody who's been waiting for inventory can get to inventory. So now that we have the weapon manager hooked up, the last thing that we can do if we want to, which I'm going to do, if we come here to the character movement component, I'm going to change to the ninja one, and that's because it just gives a few strafing, blocking. It just gives a couple extra things, which I really like and enjoy. You don't have to do this. This is indeed optional. Now that was the, shall we say, one of the more complicated things we needed to do. Now the next thing we're going to do is, let me check my time here, sorry. Okay. We need to get the data asset set up so that we are able to use gas. So the first thing we will do, come here into drawers. I'm going to click here in data for gas. I'm going to make a new folder for data tables. Open this up, and I'm going to look for data table. And if you just type in attribute, it'll bring attribute metadata, which is what is used with gameplay assets, or gameplay abilities, I should say. DT Ninja attributes. We're going to open it up. Now, in the description below, I have either the link or the file itself. I'm not sure if I can attach files to the video yet. I'll know after I try this. But the JSON file that you need will be in the description, either a link or the file itself. And all it's going to do is name all the rows for you and give some base, min, max, all that kind of stuff for you, so that you don't have to do it all manually. I'll also have a link in the description down below to where you can find this data if you want to do it yourself, because this is Ninja provided to help speed up the process of getting everything built up and the foundation ready. So next thing, we need to create, excuse me, that data asset that I was telling you about for the asset manager. So let's go back to our gas folder and then our data folder. I'm going to right click, and we will go to Ninja and Ninja gas setup, and name it whatever you want. It is a data asset. I'm going to do gas setup. We're going to open it up, and we will be going more into detail about this down the road. It's just important to note that this is where everything that your player will be able to access. This is where everything will be in the beginning of the game, I should say. So we're going to hit the plus sign for the default attribute set. And right now we have these which are specific to Unreal Engine, and then the combat, which is what we're going to do in Ninja Inventory. When we go into creating our own attributes, like episode 36 or later, so it's not happening anytime soon, you'll see more of these popping up. But for now, all we need is this. And then we want this data table. So now, whenever, once we have the last few steps set up, we'll be able to see these, meaning we'll know that our health is at 100, max health is at 100. So the next thing that we need to do is still in here, and this is simply to have something in the effect and ready. If we open this up, Ninja Combat has a few effects already made for us. So if we go and look for, he has it named Replenish. He already has health, magic, and stamina. Magic is mana. He may change this to mana in the future. If he does, fantastic. But just note that magic, for his purposes, is mana. And we want stamina because that's what we're going to be going into immediately throughout these first 30 or so videos. Now, once we've done that, we need to create our gas compatible player state. So we have not created a player state yet. It is part of the game mode. So I'm going to go into my game mode folder. I'm going to open it up, blueprint class, and I'm going to type, not game mode, player state, because I want the Ninja Gas player state. It automatically comes with the gameplay ability system attached, and I do highly encourage you guys to utilize this one. So if you already have one, I would reparent it, but it is ultimately your decision. So we'll hit select, and then I'm going to hit BP my player state. I'll open up my game mode, and in the first, oh no, that's the Spectre. That's why. Okay, I was so confused for a second. Player state class, BP my player state. Okay, we're good to go. Compile and save. And now let's open up the player state. Like I said, it automatically comes with an ability system component. So if you are in need of it, because you're using your own and you don't want to reparent, make sure that you get the Ninja Gas ability system component. You need the Ninja one because it comes with this for us. Makes things easier. All right. So that new gas asset that we made, we place right here. Compile and save. And I believe, no, it does not come with an interface already in there. Now then, one second, there's a new step here. It's not a new step. It's just something that I've always skipped because it wasn't necessary for me to do so. So I'm going to go ahead, and it tells us to reparent our character. So if we come here, select class settings, to the Ninja Gas. Player character. Everything's good to go. I don't know why my brain was thinking that when you reparent, it's going to delete stuff. But it is what it is. It's been a while, and it's early. The next thing we need to do that they tell us we need to make sure is there, if we select the mesh. If you're using the default one, then obviously it works. Let's open it up. The thing that you need to make sure, that's right, it's an ABP Manny if you're using the default one. Default slot needs to be there. Absolutely has to be there for combat to work. Now, the next thing and last thing that we need to do in this episode is confirm that everything is attached. So if we hit the play button and we come down here to the enter console command in the bottom left, and we type show debug, it's right here at the top, ability system, then we hit enter. Interesting, nothing is working. We should be seeing something right there. Give me one moment. I see what the problem is. If you open up your world settings, if you're in the default world, they have the game mode override. Um, so if you don't have that window open, just go to Windows. And I believe it is, you know what, let's just search for it. Type world settings, open it up. And if you go down to game mode and bring down the drop down, you'll see that the override is set. Go ahead and clear that. Now if we hit play and we type in that command, there we go. So now we know we have our our attributes, and you can see here max health 100. So it is setting everything to what it's supposed to be. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.